My name is Russ Miowitz, and I'm an artist from Chicago. I grew up in New Jersey, and I studied graphic design at Husson School of Art in Philadelphia. And over the last 15 years, I've been traveling the country and parts of the world, seeking out historic, antique, symbolic, or ornate pieces of iron in the street, mainly utility covers. And I've been using those as life-size printing blocks, so I'll apply some ink on top of the iron and then I press it into mainly canvas, but I do some paper, some other textiles. And the project started in Seattle. That's where I made my first print, and since then I've been to over 50 cities up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the Northwest, and a number of places in between. And I've been making mono prints, so I'll pull one print off of a design and then I keep going. I use colors and compositions that are normally inspired by the people I meet on the street, the surroundings in that moment, maybe the history behind the iron, and or just the experiences of the day. So typical print mission, I usually plan out when I'm gonna go, and I put all my supplies in a box. I call it the print box, and it's an old tool case. I bought it at a yard sale about 5 years ago for $2, and I'll show you basically what goes in there. First, I got my inks. They're water soluble, non-toxic inks. Bring a broom. Always bring a broom to clean it up. Have my palette knives so I can mix up the colors right there on the street. Sprayers, a couple different sizes. You can see these have seen a lot of action in many streets. Bring a ruler in case I need to measure some things out for the canvas. Always have a couple paintbrushes for the smaller details. Some extra inks. Bring some water just to clean up. And the most important thing, a knee pad. Definitely want to use a knee pad. And I usually bring a little sketchbook just in case kind of want to mock something up right there on the street. Throw everything into the bag, into the box. Got my canvas ready to go, usually already pre-cut, and then we out. Over the last few years, since I'm in Chicago full time, I've been working on a number of pieces that are multi-layered, so it's maybe 9 or 10 prints on one piece of canvas. So that allows me to first scope out the covers, find the designs I want to do, then I can mock up how I want them to lay out. I experiment with color palettes, usually on the computer, and then once I decide on the design and the colors, then I mix the colors up, I prep the canvas to the size it needs to be, and then I go out onto the street and try to recreate kind of the mock-up that's either on a piece of paper or it's on my computer. So in a way, it's kind of like high-stakes Photoshop, because there's really no going back, and that's part of the reason why I really I really enjoy making the prints, is because it is a tangible thing. It's not a computer graphics. It's not something that I could delete and start over or Command Z. It's literally when the canvas goes down and the ink's already on there and the canvas goes down, there is no going back, and you never really know what you're gonna get. I mean, it's always a surprise. It's like that aha moment when after you spend an hour or so on your hands and knees scrubbing and cleaning and planning and painting, and then you just get that few seconds when you pull it up, and it's like a surprise every time. So it's always interesting. It's always something new. This is a compilation of 12 different covers printed in Chicago,
probably about 5 years ago, and you can see that each one is different, each one is unique. There's different patterns, there's fonts, there's layouts, there's messages, the typography, and you know, it kind of gives you a glimpse into how many different variations there are of these. And what I like is each one has a memory. I remember each day, each moment, why you know the colors were chosen, and it really kind of set me on a bigger mission to collect even more across the country. This is kind of the original Chicago 12. So I'm actually on my way to a gallery right now in Wicker Park, Jackson Young Gallery. I have my work inside there. I'm a resident artist, been a few years now, and they sell original prints, smaller reproductions, and a number of stuff. So it's actually been pretty awesome to see and know that strangers and people are interested in my work. I did it for so long, for 10 years, and I didn't really even show anyone. I just went around and I collected all of these prints from all over the US, and I did not, you know, I didn't really show it. I didn't put it on social media, I didn't put it on the website. It was just a collection. So now that I've been putting it out there and people have seen my work, and just knowing that it's inside the gallery is, you know, it's really cool to me. People are interested. And so this is Jackson Young Gallery in Wicker Park, what I was just talking about. I've been a resident artist here for a few years now. And it's been super cool to see people interested in my work and buying my work. And here are a few of the originals, and these are actually all Chicago. So we got the Chicago Fire cover, we have a sewer cover, we have an old coal hole cover, which is my favorite cover in the world, and we have a Commonwealth Edison. These were all kind of all over different neighborhoods in Chicago. And then we also sell some smaller prints. This is actually the Under the L series, which is a print made at all these different L stops, kind of arranged to make the actual CTA map. And the original is probably like 8 by 10 foot. I don't know. I made it over a course of 3 to 4 months. So it's super cool to see all that time spent out on the street and then come in and actually see it as a final product. Just by the very nature of the project, I'm always interacting with people. People walk by, they stop, they ask what I'm doing. A lot of times that turns into an hour-long conversation. It's brought friendships. I learned things about the neighborhood, about the community, and a lot of times these people actually help me choose the colors. So I'll be like, well, now that you're here, should I do this in blue or should I do it in a lighter blue? And so that's a big part of it, is really just what I've been learning along the way. Besides the history behind the foundry, they're overlooked objects that people normally don't notice. And then I really get to look at and explore a neighborhood in a completely different way, and meet the people that live in that neighborhood. It's just a lot of elements. The prints are, to me, really, they're just the tangible memory of that moment, of that day. And it's not so much about making the art, but making the experience and relationships. The project started with a spontaneous idea to make a print from a piece of iron right there on the sidewalk. It's taken me to places I never would have visited. I've met some really interesting people, and I've built a lot of meaningful relationships. And the craft and the term street printing has actually become a global trend. There's artists all over the world, across the country, making their own prints and reimagining their own cities, which I think is super cool, knowing that, you know, maybe I've inspired someone to make art or find something that they're passionate about. Being a designer and an artist isn't always easy. It's not a traditional career, but I did learn that, you know, if you do something that you love, no matter how bumpy the road gets along the way, it's always going to be an awesome trip. So if you like the project, I'd love for you to follow along. There's some print missions planned and some different things in the works. Hope to see you out on the street.